Hello, everybody. The stock market overall had a very positive session, and actually, we had a very positive data point come out from the Russell 2000 and Dow Jones Transportation Average. But before we get there, let's just take a look at the S&P 500. You can see the S&P 500 rallied nicely today. It still did not close above the recent highs of the past two sessions, and unfortunately for the bulls on the most short term, volume was lower than the session before, so no follow-through day on this session. But it's constructive price action following the lows, but it's not great either, and leadership is very suspect, as we will just go over here in a minute. Dow Jones Industrial Average up 1.78%. It did take out its most recent highs, but unfortunately for the bulls, volume was lower than yesterday, so no real conviction behind all of this buying today. NASDAQ was only up 1.09%. Volume was actually slightly higher, and Investors Business Daily, never mind. I saw it on Twitter that somebody said that volume was higher than the NASDAQ also. But unfortunately, it is only average. There is no huge surge in volume indicating that people were just stepping all over each other to buy stocks. And only being up 1.09% and not going out at the high of the day, it leaves a lot to the imagination. And the NASDAQ 100 only up 0.89%, but at least the rally is a little bit more broad, as the Russell 2000 was up 2.07%. Second best index, but also did not take out the most recent highs, so more work needs to be done. And the biggest positive on today is the Dow Jones Transportation Average. It was actually up 2.47%, leading the market. Unfortunately, volume as a whole is only about average, so it's nothing really, confirming yet that, we definitely have a good follow-through day off the lows. It's a nice start, but a start is all that it is. That 50 and 200-day moving average is coming down hard on all the indexes, and that along with the August, September, October, November, and even December for the DJTA support levels that are now resistance levels all come into play. And if you want to think, that this market, is super, super strong, here's my new high scan. These are stocks breaking out to new 52-week highs. Pay attention to the sectors up here as we go through these really quick. Metals and mining, restaurant, REIT, materials and construction, manufacturing. Cray is like the only outlier, computer hardware, diversified computer systems. This is one of my favorite technical setups. However, this breakout here on a longer base, where this price is closer to the 50-day moving average and or the 50 and 200-day moving average are tighter and closer to each other, this would be a good viable move right here with the bot saying max green for me and the volume surge. But this is too much, of a move off the lows, and the base just isn't long enough to buy a stock that's extended 12% from my most, logical support level. So Cray for now is just being watched by me, but it's very nice how it's acting. This is probably one of my favorite stocks out there right now. IIV is another one that bucked the trend but up too much today, and here we go again. REIT, financial services, closed-end fund, utility, food and beverage, utility, closed-end fund, utility. The MDAS is already completely taken care of, so don't worry about that. Closed-end fund, REIT, insurance, life insurance, but it's already, basically done. It's just in the scan. INS sneaked up on there, very low price stock, maybe one to keep an eye out on. EGHT, one of our long positions, trending up. But once again, utility, REIT, utility, insurance, Tennessee Valley Authority, I believe that's insurance also. REIT, utility, materials and construction, very nice though, just like over on INS. IESC is one of these small cap stocks that held up one in the bear market and is breaking out new highs, so keep an eye on that. And then once again, utility. So not necessarily, the most eye-popping strong rally. If this scan was full of computer software stocks, internet stocks, application stocks for the phone, whatever, semiconductors, it's more conducive to a longer term rally. But as it is with utilities, food and beverage, materials and construction, and REITs leading, it's kind of hard to be too bullish. But there are some other good stocks out there. AEPI working on a base. It's really, really, loose compared to the previous basis, so it's not great, but it is something, and it is under accumulation. Earnings are out of the way. Already gone over Cray. SGI has earnings tomorrow after the market close, but that's a nice looking overall technical pattern in this week tape. And IESC we've already gone over. So besides that, not that much out there. ONE is probably the best looking short setup this evening in the market, but really, the most, I guess, clearest level that I could go to is the mid twos, and that's not exactly a big enough move. If this thing would have moved from like 1 to like 8, and that front, if 1 was back here and then this is $8 stock price, then I'd be very interested in shorting it here, because Interactive Brokers has like 2.5 million shares. But as of right now, in this market, with the tape kind of in the middle of no man's land, it's kind of a crapshoot. And in this tape, I don't want to go short crapshoots. LPTH also is probably completing its rollover, but LPTH is, it's been kind of lame stock. I thought it should have been cracking hard here. Thought it should be cracking hard here, and maybe it's time to go down. But once again, the worst it could get, I would think, short term would just be a move back to the 150. I know that's 50%, but like I said, I'm looking for stocks that have gone like from 1 to 8, not 1 to 3, like LPTH and ONE have. So not the best setups. And NOC is another potential short candidate. It was not around in the morning, but was definitely a short candidate off the intraday fade, of the early morning fade, and as it continues to sell off, I'm pretty sure it's gonna, reverse this move here. But once again, not the move I'm looking for. 3 to 6 definitely is not something I'm that interested in. So there's no longs, there's no shorts, there's no sells, there's no covers this evening, and the market's kind of in no man land. Technically, overall, right now, it's day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Day 5 of a rally attempt in the Russell 2000. The NASDAQ, not quite good enough for me to call this a follow-through day. Maybe Investors Business Daily will call it one. I'll check it out later on, but for now, just not enough evidence to be too excited on a mover like that. Continue to stress, watch for those early morning spikers for intraday breakouts. If they start to trade higher and then start to pull back at all, you put in buy stops just above the highs. SGOC did that today perfectly. Already shut down my Interactive Brokers chart, so I can't pull up the chart, but that's exactly what we're looking for. It pulled back a little bit in the morning and then broke out to new highs. So that's what you want to do. Early morning spikers, you set your buy stops on any pullback on any stock that you can, that you're monitoring. Recommended mine are about 3 or 5 of the most active. It depends on the volume. Make sure it's low float, low price stock. But right now, that's the only place to get alpha, intraday. So if you're not focusing intraday on an end-of-day trend following longer term basis, cash is still king. Keeping trades very small here and or not trading at all remains the modus operandi until we get a real true follow-through day.